Jason Moomaw, JM on the Fly. And today I got the JM Foam Crab. Nice size foam crab. I also tie this in smaller sizes. Here I got one little guy. This is about a 2-incher. This one here is about 3 3/4 inch tip to tip. Anyway, it's an easy tie. The only tying part about this entire thing is this, I use a real heavy 7/0 hook. And that's because I'm fishing for tarpon over 100 pounds with these particular flies. The only tying involved is this blank. Everything else is made like a sandwich where you just stack and glue and stack and glue. But that's pretty much it. You tie a blank. This is all Softex, so all the gluing and all the components could be set on this, and in the end you end up with this nice little crab package, you know, where you could still easily tie on the eye of the hook and fish it. Okay, JM Foam Crab. Let's show you how to build this. Okay, to tie the blank. This is the blank. That's what we're trying to do. This is what everything gets glued fast to. That's the only tying on the entire fly. Let me show you how to tie the blank real quick. Again, just a good steady thread. Something that holds glue well would be the best, because that's what you're going to be doing with this. A few wraps coming right up above. By the way, this hook is a 7/0 3407-DT Mustad, and it is a heavy hook. I mean heavy. This is a big hook. This is what I'm using, and the reason I'm using it is because I use this for tarpon over 100 pounds. That's the goal. Tarpon over 100 pounds. And we will need to tie at least 65-pound fluorocarbon to the tip of that so we can control these fish. 12 weight rod, no screwing around. And that's the goal. Everglades destination. Anyway, take some cheap, whatever you got around. This is just some cheap synthetic hair, and we're going to put it in just like we would be doing a crab pattern. Gonna figure 8 a piece section in like this. Again, it don't have to be critical. It just needs to be flat and parallel with the top of the hook. Okay? We come front a little bit. I like to just, same thing even when I do the crab patterns like this, I like to just fold that back, get that out of my way, take another section of hair. Same thing, just figure 8 that in. Make sure it's right up on top. I usually start right in line with the tip of the hook, with the point going to come through here. That's going to give us our platform to rest everything on. I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick how to coat this with Softex. Again, be generous. You're going to hit that side. I'm going to hit this side. I'm going to hit all my thread wrappings. And I'm just really got it on there heavy. And if you look along the thinness of it, you can see how flat you're going to have this. Very heavily coated. And if I could turn this to the angle of the thing, you can see that that's dead flat. See that? Absolutely perfect. That's how thin it is. And if I turn to the side, it's that thick. So you can see you got a nice flat level area to rest your foam on, your sandwich, your crab sandwich on. And that's it. That's it. All there is to Softexing it. Okay, on my tabletop here are all the components to build this fly. Basically what happens is I got a pattern. crab shell pattern. I put that on top of my foam. And my thin piece, this one's 1/4 inch thick, okay, for the main shell. And then the undershell is just thin, very thin. You can see what that looks like. And of course, trace it out. I use a scalpel. It just does the best job, and just follow your lines. Very simple. And don't have to be perfect. Get as close as you could. Like that. There you go, just like that. There's your pattern. What I like to do with this then is I will take my scissors. Take my scissors like this, and it's going to come along. I'm going to just take the edge off, because this is 1/4 inch thick. Take that edge off to kind of soften it up a little bit. Do that the whole way around, and you'll end up with something like this. Yeah, top's like completely coated, rounded over, ready to go. This one happens to have the eyes on, but you'll end up with a top. That's the top of the crab. Then you cut another one out of the thin piece. That, of course, is going to be your underbelly, just like that. That'll go together, but before you do that, you have to sandwich the eyes. Eyes are very simple. The eyes are some plastic barbell eyes that we just snip in half, and we glue each one of them right to the front. Super glue gel. And then, of course, that'll be glued again when we add the piece to sandwich everything in. Okay? We add our legs. And to make the legs, I'm just taking this chenille, and this is trilobal antron. I cut it in whatever length I think I need. And you just simply take the torch, melt the end, flip it. Same thing with that side. See how simple that is? And you end up with legs. Show you how to glue them on real quick. 6 sets, 6 pieces like this per fly. I have them sitting right here. I will use super glue gel. I'm sure you figured the eyes out. Well, let me just show you how to glue fast these. For the first, let's start with that. Yeah, for the first legs, I want the one a little bit shorter than the other, so I'm going to keep it like that. Okay, one a little shorter than the other. You're going to put a dab of glue right here in the back. Super glue gel. I'm going to keep the short one to the back. I just lay it right there in that super glue gel for a second. Take another one. Fold that one about in half. We're going to put that right next to it. Again, another little bead. Set that. You can separate them if you want. Do whatever you want before that glue dries. And they will be sandwiched in there, so it's going to stay. And long and a short. I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to use that for the very front. Nice little bead there. I'm going to glue that in like that. Okay. So you get an idea of what the legs look like. That will be your crab looking, or the way it looks. One side of it anyway. When it's all said and done, here's one finished, ready to go. There's a nice looking crab. Your next step, of course, is going to be to put this on. So we're going to flip it around, see which way this fits the best. It looks like this way here is a little bit too big. This way right here is the way you got to go on. Okay? So I'm going to take this. This, of course, is the back. This is the top. And I'm going to put my glue the whole way along this edge. And down the tip like this. Gotta get some in the middle. So it's all over. The only thing I didn't do is where my fingers are in the back. I'll do that afterwards. Now you can put this right up against the eyes. And I am lining up that tit right there and this tit right here. And of course up against the eyes. And I'm pushing this whole thing together like a little sandwich. Okay? And you just going to pinch that together so that super glue gel holds. Just like that. See how nice and tight that is? And that is actually holding in all your different legs and all the different things there. Now we left the bottom open. We left that gap there in the bottom. And that's easy enough. I could just take my super glue gel and I could fill in right over top of the legs with a nice little bead that comes the whole way around and covers everything. Getting to the end of my gel here, so I gotta squeeze a little tighter than I want. That's pretty much it. Now you just squeeze that tight and sandwich this whole package together. And you just keep working the whole thing until everything stays together nicely. And you wind up with your basic crab. Again, if you want, and I usually do, I'll take that green marker and I'll color up, green up the back of my shell. That's completely up to you. Make them however you think you want them. Well, only in a little couple seconds you can turn that thing into a crab. And that is the basis of the picture. The package will go crab, blank, lead, belly, and cover, which covers the entire thing. And this is all glued in with super glue gel. You'll see me do this on the vise, but this is the way it's done. And again, pattern, pattern, pattern. These are all patterns, so I could build these things all the time. Now we're going to take this and we're going to glue that on. Okay, I'm going to do the camera so you can see it. Make sure I have everything correct. But I'm going to take super glue gel. We're going to actually assemble this now. We take our full crab that we put together. We're going to put our super glue gel right up on the very edges of this piece and down the shank. All over the place. We're going to place, and I'm going to do this way just so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Okay, that. And now it's just simply a matter of holding this in place until everything sits and the glue sets up like that. Again, super glue gel sets up pretty quickly. You can see what we got there. Okay, so that gives us a really good start to this. Our next step is we're going to take our piece of lead and we're going to glue that in. This lead's a counterweight. It's a flat sheet of lead, and that counterweights all the foam that we have once it's float. So we want this same thing. Put some super glue gel on here. Put it on the shank. And then just take our lead, lay that right there, and we'll use that and just sandwich that whole thing together like that. And I can show you. There you go, you see that? And we're just going to create a sandwich. That should look like that. Everything pinched together nicely. Then we got our other little circle pattern. A little piece of foam. We're going to glue that right on. Just to add a little bit of bulk to the bottom. So I'm just going to take this piece and I'm going to put a little bead around the edge. Just like that. And I'm going to set that right there. And I'm going to glue that fast. Again, just pinching the entire thing, making a sandwich. And now we have our final piece, which is the cover for the entire thing. Okay. Again, along the entire edge. What I like to do with this is we'll see how this fits up there. That fits pretty nicely there. Let me see how it looks this way. Yeah, either way it'll work good. So I'm going to hit this edge like this. If I just take it and hit this edge with the glue, nice little bead, and then down this side and this side. Of course, we'll hit the middle, right in the center. Put a little bead there so it sticks to our bone. I'm going to stick that right up behind these eyes. Like that. And that helps hold them eyes in place. You can see pretty much what I'm doing here. That helps hold them eyes in place nicely. Now we got a little bit here on the edge. Oh, well, you know what? Let's make sure this all stays together before we go moving things around. Now we can take our glue and the part that we didn't glue, we could get glue in there and put that down and sandwich that in. And you push down, you just hold it for a little bit. It'll all come together and stay nice. Just like that. And that pretty much is how you assemble that crab. That's a completely assembled crab, all ready to go. And I have, let me see what we got here, this and this. Whatever, I just take a normal pen and I do a little bit of my artwork. Something like that. And whatever, I'll add a little bit of color. Either way, that is the JM foam crab. Completed. Ready to fish. Big hook. Like I said, I'm using a 60-pound fluorocarbon on this. I'm looking for tarpon over 100 pounds. And that's what I'm using this whole system for. That's why we have such a heavy hook and such a big fly. This fly is like 3 3/4 inches, tip to tip. Nice, beautiful crab. And it's just descending, you know, with the lead in it. It's just right at the point where it just sinks. So we could be right under the surface film, which is where they like to eat them. And that is the JM foam crab. And don't forget, you can always send a little message to the big tarpon. Write him a little note. JM on the fly. I'm out of here.